Mo Monroe is wanted for the financial terrorist attack Black Monday.
Black Monday was my idea.
It's me, Wizard of Wall Street himself.
Mo is back, baby.
There's a question about where we go in topic 2 with Israel Adesanya. We talked about Romero. Will he ever get another title shot again? Doesn't look likely, certainly not anytime soon. I would never write it off. But now the question becomes, okay, Adesanya keeps his belt. As we indicated, look at the record of achievement he's had. It's been great, Brian Campbell. We'll go to you again on this one, which is to say, to what extent, if any, and be honest here, that's what we do on this show, does this win for Adesanya hurt his stock?
It's only a short-term stock herder on the idea that this guy, and this is a narrative that I played up on the way in, that this fight gives him the opportunity by picking such a badass opponent, going out of his way to fight him when he doesn't have to, where if Adesanya was able to knock this guy out, Luke, he could have got on the rocket ship to superstardom. And I agree with that. This was his close-up headlining his first pay-per-view in America to be like, oh, that's the next big guy? I should probably tune in this Saturday and check it out. You lose that in the temporary. You win that back with another badass fight. And look, Paulo Costa's going to come for that ass. And Adesanya's probably going to knock him out, to be honest with you. And it's going to probably be spectacular and be a great fight and be hellacious. And then we'll go again, oh, that guy's so great. There's a lot of Anderson Silva comparisons in there. I mean, yeah, we hated Anderson Silva to a degree after like the Damian Maia fight. You know, those type of fights where you're just, you know, but it's when a guy's coming for you, it's going to bring out the best in him. In the end, we will look back at this as a Israel Adesanya survive and advance smart move against a person in Romero who gave him no other strategy but to do what he did.
So we mentioned Anderson Silva. Let's go back to that. He goes to the UFC and he does what he does against Chris Lieben, and that was just a marvelous performance. And of course, Joe Rogan was like, this is a different kind of striker. Then he beats Rich Franklin, grabs the middleweight title, gets knockout of the night at the time. He fights Travis Lutter. Lutter takes him down and mounts him, but Anderson Silva finds a way to come back and, of course, win that one as well. Then he beats Nate Marquardt. Then he fights Rich Franklin again. Then he fights Dan Henderson, who came over from Pride. Legendary run he went on there. And then, of course, he knocked out James Irvin very quickly, up a weight class, but that was kind of expected.
They were counter-programming Strikeforce, right?
That's right. That's exactly what they were doing. Now he goes on a very interesting part of his career. He fights Patrick Cote and he wins by knee injury, but folks may not remember that Cote was kind of seen as overmatched and he lost via injury, but up until the injury, it was not a good fight, okay? Then he beats Talis Laitis at UFC 97, and that fight sucked. In fact, if you go back and look at it, Dana White buried Anderson Silva for that. Now he rebounds at UFC 101 against Forrest Griffin. Oh my God,
Perfect
all-time high.
Yeah.
I mean, just brilliant
Video
matchmaking.
game, yep.
You couldn't believe it. And then goes and ruins it again at UFC 112 against Demian Maia, where we're talking all-time low of his stock at that point.
But the outrage was doubled because the Middle Eastern fellas had just bought a portion of the UFC, right?
Right.
So
Flash entertainment.
UFC going out there was to be like, look at what you bought. Here's what you got. Oh no, it's a pile of crap. Yeah.
And the BJ Penn upset happened on that card as well. And then you follow that up with 2 more fights. The Chael Sonnen fight at UFC 117, where he got beat up but had this incredible, iconic comeback at the very last minute. And then, lastly, UFC 126, he front kicks Vitor Belfort. This fight was the biggest fight in Brazil, I think, ever.
Dana claimed late Saturday that it was the Belfort fight that finally made him a star.
Right, so I'm told that was the one in Brazil that really launched him into superstardom. That was the one where folks were like, because Vitor Belfort had been on like the Brazilian version of Big Brother at that point, and he was married to, I think, a Playboy playmate, and so he had a certain pop culture visibility, and then when Anderson, who I don't think was expected to beat him by casual observers, did.
Really?
Yeah, I think my understanding was that the casual fans in Brazil kind of had a really high opinion of Vitor and just didn't really understand.
Only Andy could have got the 2013 Mohawk TRT version of Vitor. That could have been
interesting.
Drama.
Nevertheless, my point being is in going through that, he had this incredible rise and these amazing performances, and then the stock really dipped. All to point out, in the middle of his stock drop, it skyrocketed again against Forrest Griffin, and then he had these 2 iconic performances. What are we waiting on here with Adesanya and, as you pointed out, Costa? Not just a difficult challenge, I think we can all agree, or even a more stylistic, interesting matchup, but we have bad blood, we have heated rival, we have expected animosity.
It'll repair everything.
If he goes in there, now if he loses, of course, all bets are off. But let's say he wins, his stock will be at an all-time high if he wins in the traditional way that he has come to win.
And if you're looking big picture, then he can win, potentially stay busy ones against a Cannonier or a Till who will talk some trash, and then you're getting ready for the John Jones fight.
That's exactly right. So did he take a hit on Saturday? Even if you believe he shouldn't have or you believe he did, he probably did to a degree. I don't think there's any way you can argue otherwise. However, the idea that it's lasting, the idea that it's especially damaging, the idea that it's irreparable harm is just totally overplayed. It was a fight that wasn't very entertaining, provided his next one is against the kind of rival that will do just the right thing to move you up the ladder. All of this goes away. Although I will say this one more time. To the extent that Adesanya, between Silva and Romero here, as I pointed out on Morning Kombat Dissected, those are the two fights where Adesanya did the highest portion of targeting of an opponent with leg kicks. To me, if he has another opponent who's very reserved offensively, you're going to get more of this. This is not going to be the last time, but it looks like Paulo Costa, Brian, from every indication, is the opposite
I
of that.
was sitting front row.
What was he wearing on his lips? Was there anything to that?
I don't know anything about that.
Are they just like
He
really
jumped
red?
the barrier, but he didn't jump the barrier because of Adesanya. So here's what happened. After the fight, Romero thought he won. He had his arms up in the air. He got in Adesanya's face. Romero tried to leave the cage to attack Costa, to basically be like, I won the championship, we're going to rematch next. Security had to hold him back. That's when Costa jumped the barrier and security got him and pushed him to the back. It wasn't for Adesanya like Adesanya was trying to frame it afterwards. I was watching it in real time. Also,
when he made the throwing feces joke, I was like,
Also, I don't know if everybody caught when Joanna was in the prep pit area, that's when Brian Ortega got dragged out by security.
Oh, I did not know
Because,
that. For slapping the
slapped,
K-pop guy?
Yes. And when I looked to see who was there, I saw Logan Paul. I'm like, oh, I hope he slapped Logan Paul. That'd be great.
I'd pay for that on DAZN.
Yeah.
Get to it, DAZN.
Tap Halle Berry and then tap out a YouTuber. That'd be great.
That'd be great.
It'd be a great year.
Mo Monroe is wanted for the financial terrorist attack Black Monday.
Black Monday was my idea.
It's me, the Wizard of Wall Street himself.
Mo is back, baby.